I didn't write a top 10.
That's okay. So number 10 is Family. And that's...
The one with Amy Adams.
Yes. That's the one where it's Tara's birthday. And her family comes in and they're like, "You're evil, we're taking you back home."
That was a good one. That's the one where... I mean, we should talk a little bit about how Tara and Willow have a homosexual relationship, which I think at the time was probably pioneering, right?
I think it was probably a really big deal.
It was probably a big deal. I was not aware of it. But even watching this, even rewatching it, like it was done really well and really subtly done. But I felt that episode was kind of about, like they were talking about how her life choices being some kind of possible demon. Like I felt like it was a parallel with lesbianism or homosexuality in general. But I may have been reading too much into it. So I think Joss Whedon was trying to deal with issues like being an outcast, or either because you're homosexual or because you don't fit in. But he was doing it, not just in this episode, but overall in the series, under the guise of the supernatural. And I think that's probably why it was so popular, not just with young women, but with young men and old men.
Fool for Love. That's in season 5, when Buffy... It starts with Buffy in a graveyard fighting a vampire, and he ends up hurting her. So she's like, how did the Slayers die? So she goes to Spike, and he's like, well, I killed 2 of them. I'll tell you how.
Oh, yeah. That was like kind of a Spike episode.
Right.
Where we learned how he was sired by Drusilla.
Right.
Yeah, that was a really cool episode. I like the episodes where it hinted at a bigger universe. Where, we saw him in like the 18th century or whatever it was, and then we saw him in China, right? During I think it was during the Boxer Rebellion.
Yeah.
And then we saw him in Harlem in the 70s. Yeah, that was a good one. That was all the same episode, right?
That was all the same episode. The Prom.
Where she got the award for being the school's best vampire slayer.
Class protector.
Class protector. And she got an umbrella?
Yeah.
Yeah, that made me cry.
I cry every time.
Yeah, that was really good.
Buffy Summers. Class protector.
Passion. Angel's all evil, and he finds out that Miss Calendar is trying to restore his soul, Jenny, and he kills her.
Right, yeah, that was a good one. I don't remember the episode, but I remember her death scene.
Okay.
It was very sad. I think I cried. I forgot about Jenny. She was a great character. Beautiful woman.
She's very pretty.
Yeah, I really liked her. I liked her relationship with Giles. That was another relationship on the show that felt natural. One of the good things about this show is, for the most part, the romances, they feel like these characters actually get to know each other and then fall in love. And when it doesn't work, like with Riley, it's when you can tell the characters were introduced simply to fall in love. Like, what's her name? Kennedy?
Yeah.
Who falls in love with Willow. Like, from the first moment she's on screen, it's like, oh, she's gonna be Willow's girlfriend. So that's why that didn't work. Even though she's a fine actress.
Two to Go and Grave. They're the last 2 episodes of season 6. And you can't have one without the other.
Where Willow went crazy and she was killing everybody?
Sure.
With Dark Willow?
Dark Willow.
Where Willow became a brunette?
Yes. Scary, veiny Willow.
Season 6 for me as a whole was unsatisfying. I thought it was funny, like with the trio. 3 characters who I really liked, all of them, Andrew, Warren, and Jonathan. They were great actors, really funny, they had great lines. I just didn't find them to be threatening. And I also didn't find Willow to be threatening. I think that was really...
She was gonna kill the entire world.
I'm gonna say something that you're not gonna like, and that if anybody has made it this far in this video isn't gonna like. I don't think Allison Hannigan was good enough of an actress to really pull it off.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You don't like what I said?
Makes me really mad at you.
I know.
You should have kept that to yourself.
I can't. I felt that she just didn't, I don't know. As an actress, she just didn't, I don't know. She wasn't up there for me with the mayor, with Glory.
Willow is my favorite big bad.
She was my least favorite big bad. She's not my least favorite big bad. Adam was the worst big bad. But even that guy had kind of a gravitas to him that frankly Allison Hannigan just didn't have. Well, if you watch the first couple seasons, I thought Allison Hannigan was the best actress on the show. Just because of the way she handled that whole awkward, nerdy girl. Best awkward teenager I've ever seen. Like, she was perfect. But then she never kind of got out of that for me. I don't know. I mean no ill will towards Allison Hannigan, whose career is going better than anybody else on the show. Her career has skyrocketed past Sarah Michelle Gellar's. She's doing great. She's a billionaire. She's been in hit movies. She's on that other show, which I haven't watched. Good for her. 99% of the time I thought she was great, and I really liked Willow. Like, I thought the whole arc with her and Tara was one of the best things about the whole show. One of the best love stories in TV history. It just felt natural and really sweet, and ended in tragedy, which was sad, but it worked as a story. I don't know, I didn't buy her evilness.
My next one is Once More with Feeling.
The musical one.
The musical.
Yeah, that was great. If I have any complaints about that episode, the songs could have been catchier. Like, I think, getting back to Joss Whedon's writing, he's incredibly clever, he's incredibly smart, but I don't think he's a great songwriter. Like, they weren't... After I watched the episode, I wasn't singing any of the songs in my head. Like, they weren't great musical songs. But the songs themselves told the story very well. My favorite song was probably the Spike's solo, like the big rock number.
Rest in Peace.
Rest in Peace. Because that was the one that felt most like a song. Like, I think that one actually had a chorus. I think a lot of the other ones didn't even have choruses. He wasn't the best singer. He did fine. The best singers were
Amber Benson
and what's his name?
Anthony Stewart Head.
They knocked it out of the park. That was a beautiful song.
James Marsters has a band, or he did. So he was one of the singers.
What was the name of his band?
I don't remember.
Was it 30 Seconds to Marsders?
The Gift.
What number are we on?
That's number 4. The Gift is the season finale of 5.
Yeah. What?
Of where Buffy dies.
Oh, sure. Where she jumped off the thing into that portal.
Yes.
That was one of those things where I didn't know what was going to happen. It had me on the edge of my seat.
While the show was airing, I think that's when Buffy switched networks from the WB to UPN. So I think at least for little kid me, I was like, is that the end of Buffy?
Sure.
And then I think they brought her back on UPN, which I don't even know if that's a station anymore.
I don't know.
Number 3, I have The Body.
Great episode.
Okay. Yeah.
Where Joyce dies.
Yes.
Very powerful.
It's still tough for me to watch. I still cry.
Yeah, I think I watched that one twice, maybe. Because I think I watched it the first time enwrapped in the story, but then I think I watched it the second time just because it was technically really well written and really well directed, and I wanted to appreciate it also on a technical level, like how there was no background music and just the way it was shot, like a lot of long shots, a lot of shots from Buffy's perspective, like when she was talking to like the paramedic, like he was kind of like out of focus, or you just saw like his mouth. I just thought it was really well done, an intelligently made episode, which made it a very emotional episode. The only thing that struck me about that episode, and this isn't a bad thing, but up until the end, there was nothing supernatural about it at all. You didn't even see Spike, but then at the end, in the hospital, Dawn got attacked by a vampire. Like, I didn't think there was going to be any vampires, but then they did. And I'm not saying it was a bad story decision. It was just, it took me by surprise. I think it was a near perfect episode, brilliant episode, and I'm not criticizing it at all, but I think it may have been more effective if they had not had any vampires at all. Because I don't think it needed that at the end.
I think it did.
Okay, why?
I think it needs to show that she is dealing with her mother's death and how awful it is and how boring it is, and then she has to kill this vampire too. It's just another thing Buffy has to do.
Okay, I can buy that.
2 is Hush.
Great episode with the gentlemen.
Yes.
That's the famous episode.
Yeah.
That's the episode everybody talks about. Really scary. Incredibly creepy. Another one directed by Joss Whedon. When you see Joss Whedon's name in the opening credits directed by, this is going to be a great episode. Either because he's that good, as we said, or just because he wanted to film the pivotal episodes.
The other person I found that pretty much always had a good episode was Jane Espenson.
Okay.
She went on to do a show on Sci-Fi.
What show?
Oh, Warehouse something.
Warehouse something, yeah, that's supposed to be really good. I know what you're talking about.
Okay. I have never watched it.
I've heard good. Warehouse something.
I don't know.
What's his name? The actor who played the main gentleman. He played Ape Sapien in the Hellboy movies. He played in Pan's Labyrinth. He was the guy, the monster with like his...
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. But I recognized him immediately. Even I didn't see his name in the credits just because of the way he's got such a unique way of moving. I was like, I bet it's that guy. And it was. Doug Jones was the actor's name. He was great. The episode was great. Really scary. Unique. I mean, the show usually used, vampires, werewolves, zombies. I mean, they're homages to the classic villains. But the gentlemen were completely unique, I believe.
Can't even shout, can't even cry. The gentlemen are coming by. Looking in windows, knocking on doors. They need to take 7 and they might take yours. Can't call to mom, can't say a word. You're gonna die screaming, but you won't be heard.
Number 1, Normal Again.
The one where she's in the insane asylum.
Right. People probably won't agree with me, but it leaves you not knowing which reality is real.
Definitely. The whole show could just be a dream inside Buffy's crazy head.
Right.
Star Trek did an episode similar to that, where Riker on Next Generation was shown to be in an insane asylum on some alien planet, and they said, "Oh, you're flying around on this spaceship. You're crazy. Like, that's a delusion." I don't have a top 10 list, but just off the top of my head, I'm not going to come up with 10, but just episodes that I remember standing out. When you watch them all 7 seasons over the course of like a month, they tend to blend together. But the Hush, what's it called? Hush definitely would be in my top 10. I really liked the episode, and I've told you this many times, the one where it's early on where she's being tested by the Watcher Council, and she loses her power and she has to fight that vampire in the house. What's that one called?
I don't know.
That was really good. That I think that was the first episode that really scared me, because that one was really scary, like with the vampire, and you really felt like this show could go anywhere. And like, I don't even know if Buffy's gonna live through this episode.
That one's hard for me to watch because I feel like Giles betrayed Buffy, and I have a hard time forgiving him for that.
Well, so did she. I think he had a hard time forgiving himself for that. I really liked the episode. I think it was called Ted.
Ted.
The one with John Ritter. I don't think that's going to be on anybody's top 10, but
I enjoy that. I think it's fun.
It's fun, and I love John Ritter, who has passed on many years ago. It was nice seeing John Ritter again. I'll admit, like, that's a part of it. He's a really good actor. And it's just, what a weird episode. The one where Ripper, Giles turns into a demon. I love that one. I really like the one, obviously Giles is my favorite, because I really like the one where, I think it was called like Brain Candy or something.
Band Candy.
Band Candy. Where all the adults eat this candy. Which was the candy made by Ethan Rain? And they de-evolve into like adolescents. That one was super funny. I really liked the one where Buffy and Faith switch.
Yeah.
Like, do the body switching. Those episodes are always fun. And I thought that Sarah Michelle Gellar and Eliza Blue's Clues, like, their performances were perfect. Like, they were both really believable as the other actor.
Yeah.
Like, they both did great. I really liked the episode where Andrew was making a YouTube, or Andrew was making a documentary about Buffy. I thought that was really funny. And you learned a lot about the characters, so that was really good.
Grr. Arg.